Hello, this is my ID for you. My name is Delilah Calvo, and this is my video presentation for Chapter 7's assignment. So let's go ahead and get started. So the debate whether we Americans should draw the boundary line at the Rio Grande or the Nueces River is simple. To execute the main objective of all this, which is to obtain more land so the government can create more property for less, so they can create more farms, and that can create more jobs and overall grow the economy. They are very persistent on extending the boundary westward, and so am I. As a U.S. politician, I am in support of the Rio Grande River boundary. In 1844, President Polk had promised the U.S. citizens more expansion, or more westward expansion, and they wanted to seize lands like Texas and California and Oregon, and those parts were especially the target because they were equipped more fertile lands that would be great for farming, and also that increased more travel and exchange between everything, so that increased the economy overall. And with the expansion westward, Americans were entering Native American territories, and with them they just had to ultimately negotiate. They had to create and sign treaties that promised, protection over their land, or, ultimately paying them millions of dollars to move them. Some were resistant, and with the Mexican government, it was not as simple either. Them denying meeting with John Slidell to negotiate the purchasing of the Nueces River, that initiated a war that all had an effect in initiating a war, and that became the Mexican and American War, and that resulted from 4,000 to 50,000 men armies invading all their cities and ultimately invading Mexico City, which was the capital. This brought a lot of death and disease to the people there, and so ultimately Mexico signed over the land west of the Rio Grande River. So that meant they recognized the Rio Grande boundary, meaning that all that land would be U.S. territory. And that would be what we know now as California, Utah, Nevada, most parts of Arizona, parts of New Mexico, and Colorado and Wyoming. So in the maps here, you'll be able to see a little more. In this first map, you see here, this is the Rio Grande already. So they already had it set on there. And you see here, all this is Mexico, and this is all American territory. On this border here, all the Mexican culture was bleeding into the American territory, which is something we didn't want. And you see there, all that was being unused and not utilized for its full potential, which us as Americans saw the potential of it. In this map here, you see a little, that black line, that is the Rio Grande, and that extends way up there and way north and more northwest, and that line right there between the yellow and the blue right there, that's the Nueces. So really, you can see there that the Nueces would take away really what was already set, and really it would just be nothing, really. And in this map here, you can see a little bit better the Rio Grande. Here is New Mexico, and you can see that it goes up and west, and now will all be Utah, Nevada, and Wyoming, Colorado, all that. And you can see a little better. That's the Rio, and that's the Nueces right there. The Nueces, however you pronounce it. And yeah, this one kind of shows a better, you can see a side to side of how much of the land really was taken, not necessarily taken, but possessed. And that is the works cited. And that is all. Thank you for your presentation, or for your time. I do have one other thing to say. Maybe this. I don't know. This was a major success for the U.S., and that is ultimately what they wanted. They wanted to create an increase in their economy, and by doing that, they needed to move outward, or to move more westward, and ultimately this raised their status in world power, which is also a big win for the U.S. back then. So that is it. Thank you so much.